Hello, hello. I am Gina and this is
Claire.
And together we are Everything MS. And today we thought we might talk about fear. Fear, yes, and what that does to our bodies and what that is. And if anybody was able to see my free workshop that I ran probably on the 28th of April, I talk about one of the things that the doctors don't consider, I think, is how fear affects us. And when we're given a diagnosis of something like MS, it is delivered with, it is received with a big dose of fear, isn't it? It's just got to be, because all of a sudden your life in front of you is looking very different to what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
So you were saying, Claire, about when you were diagnosed and how you felt.
It was absolute fear, and also something I knew very little about. So you kind of feared for the unknown because very little about it, because I had no need to know anything about it. But it's just interesting because we were talking about that and I've just come to me. So I think it was simmering away in the background, possibly MS, for a few years, but then I had an incident at work and it was really, really stressful, and I was very feared. I was feared because I thought I was going to lose my job.
Right, okay.
So, and that caused a massive, massive amount of stress, huge. And then it was a year later that I was diagnosed. And then after I was diagnosed, I had a massive relapse.
Right.
I was housebound and couldn't do anything. So this is where this conversation sort of led, wasn't it? The fear of, I'm in my house, I can't do anything, I can't move, I can't walk very well, and whatever. And then I was offered some medication, and so to me, the doctor said, here you go, this will make you better. And so I went on it, and that's when I started the medication, because we're on different routes, aren't we? You do it all naturally. I don't. I do the drug route.
But then I did the same, really, when I don't remember being afraid, but I think it was because by the time I'd received the diagnosis, my symptoms had disappeared. And in my head, prior to the diagnosis, I'd given myself a brain tumor and 6 months to live. Right. So actually MS was, that doesn't seem as bad. But needless to say, she still said to me, you've got an incurable disease, it's likely to get worse. And then when I asked her, she said there was nothing that you could do about it. So that's a pretty devastating blow. And I think, because I've heard so many stories of people that have been totally blind, totally unable to move at that point, and then to be told that actually there's nothing you can do about it. By the time I'd got my diagnosis, I'd had numbness, which, although it was irritating and a little bit worrying, it didn't stop me doing very much, although I did stop driving for a little bit, because but not as devastating as, like, oh my God, suddenly not being able to walk or not being able to see and being told that's it, you've got this thing for the rest of your life.
And I think that you sit in two camps when you are diagnosed. One is that I've given myself, you gave yourself one brain tumor, didn't you? I mean, some people give themselves 6 brain tumors and perhaps 3 months to live. So that diagnosis is like, oh, phew, my goodness. And then mine was like a bolt out the blue, even though it's really hard, because when I was 29 and my mum still came to the doctors with me at the hospital, and he did some tests on me, like moving my feet and things. And mum said, what are you looking for? What do you think it could possibly be? And he said, well, possibly MS. Again, I ignored that. I was flying at the time. That was all that mattered. I was just flying around the world. And then I did get the diagnosis, and then that was the slap in the face. Wake up, love. You got it. So it's the two different camps, isn't it, that people tend to sit in?
Yes, I think so. And I think sometimes, certainly for me, pre-diagnosis, I felt harder, because it was that I don't know what it is. And then, like I said, MS didn't seem as bad. To be fair to my neurologist, she did tell me, it's like, chances are you're not going to die of MS. It's like, oh, it's okay. My children are still going to have a mother, but she still disempowered me in every other way possible.
So there comes in fear, and our response, and how we touched on earlier when we was talking about the pandemic and the fear. everybody come and have a
fear
vaccine.
Yes, the fear that's just, I mean, when they first started talking about the pandemic, I was just so frustrated by the way it was being dealt with, because if I'd been a world leader, I would have thought this is an opportunity for us really to get in tune. And a lot of people have, to be fair, they've taken some time to look inwards and see what's really important. But actually, we can really boost our immune system. We can make ourselves strong. And, so then when a virus comes along, our bodies, with our immune systems that our body's got that actually fight disease, that's what it's created for, that we are able to, heal ourselves. And it was like nobody else recognized that. It was like all these top scientists and didn't seem to think that actually if we eat the right food, if we have plenty of exercise, if we drink plenty of water, if we keep our minds in a good place and stay out of fear, because what happens when we're up against a threat, our body goes into fight or flight. All the cortisol and those hormones go flying through our body, getting ready to fight or run, and that causes stress in our bodies. And what you just said, about what stress does to illnesses, and it just seems to be so obvious to me that actually don't give people fear, but still, the media and the governments were just almost dousing everybody with fear. You must be afraid, look out, because the bad COVID is coming, and created a monster out of it, which it didn't need to be, I don't think, but that's my personal opinion. And
it's and then if we kind of got to be careful here that we don't go off on the route of, well, because there's a conspiracy theorist as well, isn't there, of why?
Well, yeah,
and all that, and it's all we are just a tiny grain of sand on the beach, aren't we?
Yeah, I did dip my toe in that one for a little bit, and and it wouldn't surprise me if the conspiracy theorists were right. But again, I think taking yourself down that rabbit hole is again subscribing to fear. So whether it's fear from that camp or fear from that camp, it's still fear. So I tend to run my own camp in the middle and say, you know what, possibly true, nobody really knows the truth. Let's just focus on what's right for me. And that's been really beneficial.
I think stress and fear are words that are coming up here. So stress and fear both go very well together, don't they? They're perhaps good neighbours, and
they're best buddies. And I think what they do when they're together, they just cause chaos. It's like two crazy party animals going to work in your body, having a wild party, having a house party in your body, and not really being considerate of the of the house that it's in.
Do you find, just going back to when I had that massive first relapse, that was fear and stress, because I didn't know how I was going to pay my mortgage. I had the house myself and nobody else, so there was fear there. But stress really does affect my MS. Does it affect yours?
Oh God, yeah. I think that's the trigger. I think stress is a trigger for everybody, not just with MS, but for any flare-ups of anything. I mean, in fact, when I went in, I remember going into the doctors a few years before, because I'd got a bout of double vision, which we think is probably was my MS, and it's probably stress. It's probably stress. Yeah, it is stress, but the stress has then triggered that little switch in your body that sets off, an autoimmune response, doesn't it? So it's some reason the myelin gets attacked because the body's in stress.
So I wonder if everybody with MS, I know that the Epstein-Barr thing is up there at the minute. It's really prominent, but if everybody with MS had a really stressful situation, they might not ever talk about it, they might not say anything about it, but if they had a really stressful situation which went back a few years before they were diagnosed, is it literally just down to stress then that triggered it?
Well, there's lots of things that I've been learning about as well, that like unresolved traumas stay stuck in your body, and when that's what a stressful situation is, really, isn't it? Something's happened in your environment, things happened in your life that maybe you haven't processed as well as you could have processed, and it's still stuck in there.
So do you not think there's lots of people like that though?
Yes, I think probably the whole world,
Everyone,
because everyone's experienced unwanted stuff in their life, haven't they? You know, that's part of life. Things happen that, you know, cause you to.
And also, so what could be a stressful situation to somebody else, which could then possibly trigger a condition, would be something that I could go, really?
Yeah,
no, I'd be all right with that, or something.
That's why I subscribe so much to the whole meditation route, because what meditation does, if you develop it as a practice, allows you to be a bit more Zen-like, I guess. So when things do come along, and you know, the unexpected and the unwanted, you're not like ready to attack it straight away. You're more of a calm, okay, well, this is something else that I can deal with. That type, and to get into a really good space when something unwanted and unexpected comes along, you're like, yay, this is something to learn from and grow from.
Oh, that's a really good place to be.
Yeah, that's a really good place to be, because then nothing knocks you sideways, because everything is a growing opportunity.
So, because I've always been that person, panic stations.
Yeah.
Did you used to be like that, and you're not like that now?
I think I've always been quite calm and quite, you know, relaxed, and so I've never been a high drama person, I have to say. But I think since I went into coaching and just realized the benefit of it, and recognized that actually, yeah, that's thanks to my mum and the family dynamics and stuff, and there's all sorts of reasons why people are, you know, the way they are. But I think, but even so, obviously I've still got MS, so if I was that Zen-like, you'd think that then it wouldn't happen. So at some level there must be something that I haven't faced properly, I haven't healed, if you like. At some level there's something stuck in there. That's what I believe, I guess. That's what I'm learning to believe and thinking about. And
but this is so good that you will look into all these things to try and approach those things and to find a resolution, whereas some people will just go, okay, because some people do when they get diagnosed, and okay, that's it.
Yeah, well this is it, because there's several, and I also talk in my workshop as well about how you can deal with, you know, the symptoms. So quite often, I suppose, we ignore them for as long as possible. So it's like, until it becomes like an elephant in the room. So but then it's not just an elephant in the room, it's like an elephant sitting on your stomach. I told you the elephant analogy before. Yeah. So and then you've got this elephant sitting on your lap, so it's like, well, I can't ignore it anymore because it's there. You can get angry at it and pissed off with it, but that just doesn't help, because the elephant probably just gets a bit angry as well. And then you can just, this is it, I'm just going to have to spend the rest of my life with an elephant sitting on my, you know, that's it. And then you can be poor me, because people will help me if I've got an elephant sitting on, they'll bring me things and help me, and that's, you know, and become a victim. And the problem is, and the problem is with being a victim is it doesn't empower us to do anything. It's literally believing that I cannot do anything.
And I also, I kind of, there'll be some people that are surrounded by others who put them in the victim state.
Oh, definitely.
So it's hard to come up and go, actually, no. Sorry, go on. I was just gonna say, I'm not giving myself bouquets here, but it does sound like it. So I went into the bank, and because I've really hurt my back as well, and using my stick more often. The girl who I know, strangely called Claire as well, she's gorgeous, and she said, are you okay? I said, well, I've really hurt my back and I'm really struggling. And then she said, is this it? She said, is it just going to progress? I said, well, it is a progressive condition, but hey, I've got stuff to do. And she said, that's the thing with you. She said, you haven't let it stop you. And it's had to stop me. It stopped me wearing high heels, which I'm still a little bit bitter about. But do you know what I mean? It's I've got stuff to do.
You can still look great in pumps.
Always rocking the pump. But do you know, I feel like I've got, or I have no idea how much longer I've got on this earth, but I could have my life again, another 46 years.
Yeah.
And there's stuff to do.
And the stuff you want to do, you don't want to be sitting there with an elephant on top of you. No, that's not how your life's meant to be.
No, but it's between that, and I'm not giving myself bouquets, because there are days when I can get really down.
Yeah, absolutely, and quite rightly so, because it's freaking hard, isn't it?
It is hard.
Yeah, when you're struggling to do the simplest little things, pegging the washing out is a pain in the butt. But yeah, it is a struggle. But then I just sort of played with the idea that actually maybe we're thinking of our elephant as the way we're thinking about it is something to be fought against. We talk about MS warriors, we have to battle our MS, we have to fight for it. But what happens if we, this is something that is now with us for the rest of our life, whether we like it or not? Wouldn't it make sense to start building a relationship with it and start seeing, well, what does the MS want me to do then? How can I help? How can I support the MS? So actually maybe the MS, the elephant's not sitting on me, I can ride the elephant. Ooh. Maybe I could, have a different relationship, or maybe I could just sit on the elephant because it's nice and comfortable. That idea that actually we can look at our illness in a different way.
I kind of look at it as working with it.
Yeah.
Because I've always said for years that it lives in me, I don't live with it. But we're going to have to work alongside.
It's not going anywhere.
No, but we've got to work alongside, rub up against each other,
Yeah, it's like being in an arranged marriage that you didn't want, but you can't get out of.
Yeah, it's the club that you've joined that nobody ever asks to join.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah,
the club that nobody ever asks us, excuse me, can I join your group? No, nobody ever says that. So
no. But talking about groups, because you said earlier that it's when people are in fear and people are victims, it's quite easy to get sucked into other people's beliefs about, oh my God, you've got MS, that means poor you. You just sit there and I'll bring you cake type of thing. And so that's what the Healing Vibrations Network is about. So if you're not a member of the Healing Vibration Network yet, it's a free Facebook group where we just practice and encourage each other on a healing journey, because it doesn't matter what route you've gone down and what you've taken as fact or fiction at various different times. At any point you can make a choice to actually do something differently. And what if our illnesses are here to show us something, and we're just trying to ignore them and dull them down with medication and get rid of them in some way, and actually they're not going to go anywhere because we've got to learn the lesson before they go. And maybe if we learn the lesson, the elephant wanders off to pastures where it can just hang out with other elephants. That's nice.
Love it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. Cool. I heard something the other day, maybe I don't know where I heard it, but it wasn't directly to me, but maybe I was given this condition to help somebody else.
Yeah, I believe there is a reason. And the fact, if we hadn't have had this condition, we wouldn't have even met. No. So there you go. If there's not a reason, then there's the reason.
Yeah. I know. And I say this usually when I speak to you anyway, at the end of our Zoom, I go, I'm so thankful that we've crossed paths. I'm so thankful that we've met, and we've never met face to face. Anybody watching this, Gina and I have never met face to face.
Not yet.
About 200 miles away or something like that.
Yeah.
So we will one day.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's, and even the fact that we're talking about our stuff in this way, I'm sure I don't know, who knows what would have happened if a different path, but it feels like MS has been such a motivating part of my journey to get me out there to think, actually, there is a different way of seeing this, because what we're being offered at the moment, the doctor route, if you like, is not working. And I think, did we say this before? I can't remember, I've said it so many times, but the whole idea that in this world of how further forward we are in medical terms, and if somebody has a car accident, how long they can keep people alive and all this sort of stuff, yet we're still population wise, we're still the illest that we've ever been. So something that that they're doing, the model that they're using to try and keep people well isn't working. So it's time to change it up.
Yeah.
And I think and it starts from here.
It does.
It starts from us learning about what's right for us. And I think it's keeping yourself a priority. And again, that's a toughie. Loving yourself. We've talked about this is a whole another little episode. I think the whole idea of loving yourself. because that's a toughie as well. But and then maybe the elephant's not actually separate from us. Maybe the elephant's just part of us. And we actually, maybe the elephant doesn't go off and go wander off, but we somehow merge together in a beautiful elephant and body type way. I don't know.
Maybe we're the elephant.
Maybe
we're looking at the elephant as the bad guy, but we're the good guy because we're strong. And I've never heard anybody say anything horrible about an elephant.
No.
Go, oh,
and they never forget
majestic
as well, don't they? Yes.
Yeah, I do.
At the moment, so maybe you need to bring in more of your elephant.
Yeah.
Actually, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah, because maybe we are one and the same thing. So instead of battling, so you talk about battling MS, you're battling with yourself. Well, that's that's not going to get you very far, is it?
No. So it's about I'm believing and leaning more towards well, not leaning. I'm believing. I'm working with it.
Yeah.
With it. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yay! Yes. Well, on that note, we shall go and leave you. I hope you feel inspired and excited about making friends with your MS. What would it be if this thing that was with you was your friend and not your enemy? Yeah. So that's my and if you want some help with that, come along to the Healing Vibrations Network. It's a free group where you can just come and join. And if you want some help with any of the other stuff, then me and Claire are both life coaches. Did we mention that before?
We didn't, but we have now.
Yeah, we have now, and we can absolutely help you move towards where you want to be going on your health journey, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.